Yeah, hello everyone. It's another episode here at Meet the Property Guy, and this time we are looking beyond houses, land, buy land, and we are looking at building approval here in Lagos, because we understand a lot of you guys already have land all over almost Lagos, so Edo, Lekki, and in few years or few months, some of you guys might start to consider constructing on some of these different properties. So it's very important that you understand the rudiments, the requirements, the steps that are attached to obtaining a building approval in Lagos. Trust me, there is nowhere in Lagos that you want to build that you can go there and build without an approval. Now, I've not done any construction in Lagos before, but I have a couple of guys, I have a couple of contacts that have done construction, that have ongoing construction projects here in Lagos, and I've passed through the entire hurdles, challenges, and headaches attached to obtaining a building approval in Lagos. So I brought one of my guys here, one of my very good friend, very good partner, and he has a project he's currently constructing in Chevron, and they've got their building approval already. And I feel it's also important that he can share his experience obtaining their building approval, what they had to submit, the document, the different agencies they have to go and meet for them to get that building approval. So joining me on the show today is Mr. Samuel Momah, the MD of Mirror Homes. I love my investors. I have some of you guys that bought Dominion for sure. I have some of you guys that bought what's the other property in Temu? Grace Garden. So this is the face. this is the person shopping your money. This is the face behind the brand. So this is the MD of Mirror Homes Investment Limited. So nice to have you on the show, Mr. Samuel.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I know you have this project, this fantastic project going on in Chevron, Lekki currently, service apartment of 2-bed and 3-bed. Yes, it's currently on off plan, and then both of us have been discussing about this project for a while, and I know you just got the building approval on that project too. So I don't mind me. We just need some of your experience on the show today. Wow. don't be angry that he not pay you. Your free experience. So we are going to need some of your experience on the different steps throughout, because I know it was totally challenging to get down to where it is, and it's not even absolutely yet, because I feel some other steps to take. So let's look at the scratch.
Okay.
For you that want to build in Lagos, what's the first thing?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rabiu, for having me on your channel. It's an honor, it's a privilege for me to be here. It's glad for me to be here. Building in Lagos State, though I would say first and foremost, I may not have all the knowledge. I will only be able to talk based on the little knowledge I have and what I've been able to do thus far. Okay, so now building in Lagos State government. Building in Lagos State. The first thing, after acquiring a land that you intend to build, let's assume the land has a CFO and the
governor's consent. Okay, most importantly, the first thing is it has to be a titled land, basically.
Well, in my case, I would say we're privileged that it already had a
governor's consent.
It had a title, governor's consent. So it made the process easier. But I don't know. I think there might be cases whereby you might just need just a registered survey. I think so. So long the government has already mapped out that particular place for residential. And you have a registered survey and you've already started the process of further documentation. I think the government might still consider.
But in this case, let's just leave the title part. So let's just say the land has CFO already or governor's consent already now. So we now move to
so now the first thing is actually your registered survey. Even if you have your governor's consent, you still need to ensure you verify the survey. Like for instance, now the property we had the governor's consent.
Okay.
However, the survey wasn't even accurate.
Okay.
So I had to bring down a registered surveyor.
Okay.
Please underline the word registered surveyor.
Okay, registered surveyor.
Yeah.
Okay.
To come and measure the land again.
Okay.
Then we now have to get a new registered survey on the land.
Okay, so that means, in essence, let's say any land that you buy, as long as likely you were not on ground or you were not there and it's not your surveyor that allocate that land, before you do anything in terms of drawings, preferably just get another surveyor to at least confirm the accuracy of the survey that you have.
100% necessary.
Okay.
Imagine a case whereby on paper you have 673 square meter and the actual size is, let's say, 563 square meters.
That's 100 square meter deficit.
Less. And you plan based on
the 670.
You most likely have to bring the building down.
Yeah.
It will only favor you when it's in excess, but when it's
just that one single plot you are building on.
Yeah. Probably it could be a situation where you could have built more or managed the space better, but you couldn't. So the first step is to measure that land.
Okay.
It's not negotiable.
Okay.
You get a registered surveyor who does that. Even the Lagos State Planning, Lagos State Fiscal Planning Permit Agency, they require you to submit a registered survey.
Okay.
So after you've acquired the survey, the registered survey, then the next thing you need to do is your soil test. Many people underestimate the importance of soil testing. Wow. But it is absolutely necessary you do your soil test. Your soil test will tell you the original soil texture. You could buy a land that was probably sand-filled maybe 10 years ago, and now it looks like a dry land. You won't know. You just start building. No, we've had cases. You assume, you build based on assumption. This is one of the reasons why you see many buildings collapse, many
cracking, bending. You see land house slanting.
Yeah, because many of them, just in a hurry to start building. So as a result of that, they don't do soil test. It will tell you the soil texture, the original nature of the soil, and it will tell you if you ought to do piling alone, or if you have to do piling in case of high rise, or if you just have to do a raft foundation.
Okay. Now is just shipping. Sorry. Now, I've always been telling my investors, particularly people that have reached me personally for properties that they want to buy, I've always told them, as long as you have crossed that bridge and you are in Etiosa local government, there is no dry land. A lot of us still fall for this gimmick, and that you can see the land, you see it's dry. You see, as long as that property is Etiosa, that property is the Lekki local government, there is no magic that you want to do. You are not buying a dry land. And a dry land or wet land is not about what you are seeing in the surface. It's about the underneath soil, the capacity of that underneath soil. So you can be looking at the land and you are seeing that it's just sand that is there or something. It's the capacity of what is underneath, what it can carry, that will determine if that land is dry or wet. So just to save yourself from headache, if you are buying a land, it's Etiosa local government or Lekki local government, just know that first and foremost you are buying a wetland. So let's go see.
And even I will still advise, or I'll further advise, even on the mainland, still do your soil test. Because it's going to, all these things, they are going to help your building approval process they make the process easier. Because the government requires you to do soil test, irrespective of where you are building. Be it Lagos mainland, be it Lagos Island. Unless you want to bribe your way around out all these things, but it is a requirement. Soil test, because it reveals a lot, and it also gives recommendation. The number of pipe points you should do, the depth, the diameter. There's a lot of history to land. So you just have to do the soil test to tell you the history, the nature, the texture. And
I can remember that property, where you are building currently, there's a previous structure on it.
So it's going to reveal all these things, what went wrong and all. So we believe that the structure that was on that place, they didn't do a soil test. because if they did a soil test, they would not have encountered
the challenges
they had. Like for instance, now they went 6 feet down. That was all.
Okay.
And that 6 feet is just, they've not even gotten to the origin. They're just walking within the sand-filled area.
Okay.
So they've not even gotten to the foundation of the soil, I mean, down, that they can be able to, something like, they've not gotten to the structure that can weigh the structure that they want to
build on it.
To put on it. Like what we did in Chevron now, we are going 15 feet down.
15 feet.
15 feet down. 97 power points. 600 diameter. So that's to ensure, you know, some people are like, guy, this thing that you are doing is what people normally do for 5 floors, 6 floors. How many floors are you going? And this is what you are putting up. Structure. I mean, we're just trying to ensure that we have the best foundation. A building or a project that can stand the test of time.
Yeah.
We're going 3 floors and a penthouse. And even then again, there's still requirements. Each area, in fact, you know, starting this building project, let me realize that, if I'm to be honest, Lagos State government are really doing a lot to ensure there is no issue of collapse at all. They are really doing a lot. They are well organized, but it's just
we being Nigerians. Let's just not put it that way. We being Nigerians and being manipulative about everything. And this is also part of the thing that, because over the past 2-3 months we had different cases of demolitions.
You
know, and these demolitions were highly tribalized. And some of these things are not tribal issues.
True.
They are just paper issues.
True.
It's because you just don't have the approvals. You don't have the papers for what you are building. That's why the government are giving you issues. It doesn't have anything to do with your tribe or your origin or where you are from. You get now? So it's because some of us and a lot of investors over there are not aware of what the government check and the regulations that they have for all these different. So Chevron has a max height, Ikate has a max height, Osapa has a max height, Lekki phase 1 has a max height, Ibejuleki, each places in Ibejuleki has a max height. So if you go to a particular location and you go beyond the height there and you come there and demolish, it's not about your tribe. It's just because you have just done the wrong thing. Just as simple as that. You understand? So, and if you go to Chevron, definitely right now, I'm very sure we have a lot of buildings that are above
definitely
above that,
like the standard there. You shouldn't go more than 3 floors. That's the required standard. You shouldn't go more than 3 floors for Chevron access. So we are doing 3 floors, then a penthouse, so more like an open roof,
open terrace
for the penthouse, so as our own way of curbing that. But you shouldn't go, so you see any building 4 floors, 5 floors, 6 floors in Chevron, you're already going against the laid down standard.
So we've got the restart survey part, the soil test,
you do your soil test
part now.
Then after getting your soil test, it gives you the framework for you to do your drawings. You know, this is the number of piles we need to do, this is the diameter, the depth of the land, then the pile diameter. So you already know what you need to do. Oh, this I need to do piling and raft foundation together. Then you already have the basics. These are the things that you need to do.
For people that are going to do the drawings, will they ask for your soil test?
Sorry?
People that are going to do your drawing, people are going to design your drawing.
You mean your engineers?
Yes.
It's Nigeria, but technically they ought to. They ought to. So for instance, now you own a land, you want to build. I would personally advise you, if you are not an engineer, you give it to a construction company to build, because if you just give one engineer to build it, that your one engineer might just be a civil engineer, and that engineer is not good enough for you to get the required papers you need from government. There are other engineers that are involved, so
the mechanical, the electrical,
so you will now be having these issues of it's taking this long, and because maybe they're trying to cut across corners. So if you are dealing with a single engineer, that engineer must have to partner with other, not just engineers. Let's say you're dealing with a civil engineer.
Okay.
That civil engineer needs to, or structural engineer, he needs to be registered.
Okay.
Okay. Then he needs to have colleagues. Let's say someone in M&E.
Okay.
That is also registered there.
Okay.
To ensure that the process is seamless.
Okay.
If not, you might be having difficulty in getting your approval, because there are various seals. You can't just submit any drawings. So yeah, a registered structural engineer, a registered civil engineer, a registered M&E, that's mechanical and electrical. They ought to ask you for your soil test results
before they can go on. For those drawings. Okay. So there have been a lot, quite you have shared, and a lot of these things definitely no one can have idea of these things until they have to pass through that experience. And why a lot of people find a lot of things about Nigeria exhausting and frustrating is there is no template. Everybody just go. And it's when they now get into the middle, now realize that, man, I've made a lot of mistakes. And that's also part of the thing that we are trying to correct by on this channel, trying to look at what people have done and come here and share their experience on how they have done these things. So we have gone lengthy on a lot of things that we have not even got anywhere in the video. So likely we'll be doing this in sessions. So but now we've gone to the drawing part. We want to do the drawing for our building. Are there things for you as someone that owns the land for you to look out for, apart from the government regulations and other things? Are there things as you, the landowner or the property owner, are there things you should consider in the drawings, things that you should know of?
Well, I would say I'm an individual. Like me, I didn't study engineering. I read economics education. I knew nothing about building before I started real estate development. So what I did was consultation. Before I dreamt of signing the Chevron deal, I consulted with a construction company. This is what I want to do. What do I need to look out for before I go into such a deal? Then they tell me. So something that you have zero knowledge on and you want to do, you own the land, you want to build, go to a construction company or an engineer with many years of building experience
in Lagos particularly.
And I have a land, I want to build. So how do I go about it? So you go for consultations. Then after consultations, they'll tell you the due processes you need to follow. So I already had that conversation. So I already knew what I needed to do. That the first thing I needed to do was to resurvey the land. After resurveying the land, the next thing was to do the soil test. Then when the soil test results came out, then that's when the work starts. Then you need to get together your architectural your architect. That is for the architectural drawings.
Please add emphasis to registered.
You're registered architect.
Because people don't understand the difference between this registered.
Because if you are not registered, you can't even submit your file. They'll just trash it. You need to have that. I think it's Akron seal or so. That is if you are a registered architect. So you get your architect to do his thing, then you get your structural and civil engineer to do their own parts. I think coren seal. Then you get your M&E person, that is mechanical and electrical. So all these guys, they need to be registered and have their seal, because now in Lagos state government, resulting from many collapses, you need to submit even your certificate, your license and all alongside.
These architects, the M&E people, they have to submit their licenses and
so they know who to hold when things go south. So that's why, like, for instance, our Chevron project, a construction company with over 5 years of building all over Lagos, Victoria Island, Pinnock Beach, Chevron, Ikota, Bagada, Unilag Axis. So I had to contract them. These guys have been here, and it made the process
much easier
for me. Some people are like, the stress is too much, this one, that one. But when you get everything right, the government doesn't really have anything against you.
Wow.
You have your registered architect, you have your registered structural engineer, you have your registered mechanical and electrical engineers.
Yeah.
You've done you submitted your registered survey, you've done your soil tests alongside all of these.
Yeah.
The process is easy for you once you follow
the due process. And to be very frank, a lot of us complain about a lot of the Nigerian system, but whereas a lot of our complaints about the Nigerian system is because we are not even doing the due thing. We are not following the right path. And why I want to really blame any of us for not doing the right path is because there is no really, the enforcement is low, awareness is low. You know, a lot of people just go to a site and buy block and they want to start basically because they don't even understand that they even need some approvals or some papers or some drawings or let
me shock you a bit. Okay, you buy land. For you to fence your own land, you actually ought to get
a permit,
fencing permit.
I'm aware of that.
I have a site in Ekpe, or I have sites in Ekpe. So one day I was talking to someone from town planning. I was like, okay, I said I have friend land, I'm into real estate development, I fenced it. I said, did you get fencing permits? I was like, what are you talking about? I said, now don't you know that you're supposed to get? I was shocked. Like, wow. So it's just lack of information. So even to fence your land round, you ought to get
a fencing permit. The fencing permit, is it with the local government or still with the
Lagos state government? Everything is state government. Lagos state government. Fencing permit from state government. Still the same LABSCA, Lagos State Building Control Agency.
Okay. Wow, that's great. That's and to be frank, I don't know. And I was supposed to, I'm so like, I planned this year, I'm going to start chasing a lot of my client that, hey, come and start facing your land, come and start facing your land. So you see why information is very key, and it's also very, very important to expose yourself to some of this certain information, you know. And like I said before, awareness on these things are very, very low. Although I know that Lagos State Building Control Agency are crazy in terms of enforcment. You see them everywhere. Even if your land,
there's no way you can
road does not get to your land, NFBC will get there. They will get there.
I don't know how.
That's just something else. They will get there.
Like some of our estates in Ekpe, hidden places. My brother, they are there.
They are there. I don't know. They are, in terms of enforcement, NFBC, although to be frank, they are doing it for their pocket, but at least they will be there. And that's why most times I don't really agree to the fact that they do not serve us any permits, they don't serve us any notice. In Lagos, know how they will serve you a notice.
True.
True. If they don't serve you in paper, they will serve it in marking. They will mark your fence or mark a part of your building. But these are the things there. Now, okay. So we've got the drawing part now, and all these steps you have been talking about right now are not even start getting to the government part yet. The surveyor, the soil test, the drawings are still with you. You are not even starting to face the main people. So now we've got our soil test, we've got all our drawings intact. Where do we go from there?
Once you have all your papers, your registered survey, your soil testing, then your registered architectural drawings, your registered structural drawings, and your registered M&E drawings. When I say registered, I mean that the person preparing is registered and they have their seal on it. So you put them together and you go to Lagos State Planning. That is last part.
Okay.
Lagos State Physical Planning Permit Authority.